You're going to meet a couple of gentlemen who are helping us in the Orange County area, but we can learn a lot about the whole nation by just listening to what they have to share with us. Tim Miller is the manager of the entire parks and recreation and whatever else kind of stuff that's happening here. Ed Harrelson is the ranger, right? Did I get that right?
He's a park ranger, right?
Park ranger for...
I work through our main office supervising our educational programs and what we call our interpretive programs.
Okay.
And that's an interpretive program is any program where we're interpreting the environment or our history for the layperson, the audience that comes out to the park to learn about it.
That's great. Sounds like a fun job, too.
It is a great job.
Okay, and Tim Miller is actually the director of the regional parks.
Well, I'm the manager of all the regional parks in the county, including the special program staff, like Ed. I was a ranger for 12 years in the county.
Were you really?
And the biggest thing I miss is the uniform, but really being out in the field. I
Meeting
just really miss
people
it.
and seeing what's happening.
But the joy of what I'm doing now is to see guys like him share the beauty of our parks and our wilderness to them, and that's what's real great.
Tim, let me ask you this. How big is the entire Orange County system? Because I know in some areas of the country they may have smaller regional parks, but some of the information that you found and some of the pitfalls you've already faced and some of the environmental issues you're facing will help them too. Well,
surprising enough, you know, the county of Orange in size is pretty small, even as compared to other counties around. But as far as park acreage, we're probably in the top 10 in the United States. We have 20,000 acres of parkland. We have 17 major regional parks. We have 5 historic parks. We have 4 miles of the Orange County coastline. We have 3 harbors, 9 beaches, and 100 miles of bike trails, all in Orange County, and there's more to come.
Well, you know, when I was in L.A. as a Cub Scout, we went to Irvine Park. I never heard of Irvine before, for a Scout Jamboree, and we were talking today, that was 1953, wasn't it?
Exactly.
And that was the big park, and it would seem like it went on forever.
Well, Irvine Park is the oldest county park in the state of California. It goes back to 1897.
Wow.
And for that many years, it's going on its 95th year. It's been providing recreation for hundreds of thousands of people. In fact, last year alone, 713,000 people came and visited and enjoyed that park.
Wow. One of the issues that we're facing in the Northwest, and I'm from the Portland, Oregon area, is, of course, is the spotted owl. And there are signs on trucks that say, I like spotted owl with a little ketchup and fried and whatever. And there's a lot of anger going on about species. When we talk about parks and recreation, some people would say, well, yeah, we need to have parks, but let's not get crazy. But my understanding is environmentally that there are some dangers to our parks and beaches and national resources because of so many people going through. What kinds of things are you saying?
Well, you mentioned the spotted owl up north. Here in Southern California, we've got several endangered species. Our parks serve as critical habitat for these endangered species. We have 6 different endangered animals that live at one of our parks, Upper Newport Bay. We have countless other endangered, rare, threatened plants at our other facilities. These are constantly bombarded with the urban pressures. When you've got as many people living in suburban and urban areas such as this, going to these recreation areas, we have 5 million people a year visiting those parks. And when you have that many people involved in an environmental setting, there is the opportunity for problems. The traditional problems you may think of in parks, littering and vandalism, but other problems such as all of those people picnicking under a tree. It compacts the soil and it makes the roots have a very hard time to absorb the nutrients they need from the soil.
Really? I would have never thought of that.
And you have to worry about so many things in the operation of the park, trying to find a balance between the needs of the visitors and the needs for the environment. And that's where I'm very proud of our organization, the accomplishments that we've been able to do there.
One of the concerns I have is I've gone through parks and seen people just throw things down, and it bugs me, not because I'm a clean freak, I am, but because I'm thinking that can't be good for it. What kinds of things, if you could sit down with some visitors that were going to walk into the park today, and you really wanted to protect the place, what kind of things would you advise they do to protect parks?
Well, litter's a good point. Litter alone, aesthetically, is not pleasing. It defaces the environment. But what a lot of people don't understand is, like, when they throw the lids off of the 6-pack containers, let's say, for Cokes, that those get caught in animals like ducks and waterfowl and stuff like that. And they can injure them. Not only injure them, actually remove their legs. So a lot of their litter is not only ugly to the environment, but animals get a hold of it. Some animals digest it. and many animals have died from it. So it's not just the aesthetics part of it, that it is threatening to the wildlife as well.
As far as going to the parks and recreation, I understand that you are upgrading and whatever, and I guess we're trying to buy more parklands.
Exactly.
What can we do? What would you like to see people, lay people, do to try to help the future of parks, beaches, recreation, and those kinds of things? Legislation?
The impact of the people is just phenomenal, as you mentioned. Trash at parks, we average about 2 pounds of trash per person per day. That's a phenomenal amount of trash when you add that up by 5 million visitors. And if people can just make some changes in the way they behave, if they not get these styrofoam foam coolers that they use for one day and throw away, if they make some logical behavior changes where they're minimizing their impact, if they're not insisting that they park their vehicle right next to the tree where they want to have their picnic, if they minimize their noise, if they become involved in volunteer groups in the park. So many of our programs are accomplished only with the aid of volunteers. We have a tremendous core of volunteers, and without them, our parks wouldn't be as great as they are.
What can volunteers do?
Oh, we've got a multitude of programs.
Really?
Well, they do trail maintenance. We have one lady that goes to Casper's Park, our biggest park, the 7,600-acre park. She's identified every wildflower in the park. She's done sketches of them. Those sketches now are on exhibit for the public. She's helped writing a book now for the park.
Really?
That's one example. Trail maintenance alone is important. Planting trees. Thousands and thousands of Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts a year plant trees for us. And then, of course, some of the senior citizens that really care about the environment but have no place to go, we enlist them to conduct guided nature tours, to help share the beauty of the wilderness and God's creation with others, and that's what's fantastic.
That is dynamite. Now, there are church groups could do something like this? Would we call and say, we have some time, we'd like to...
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that's generic to all the parks nationwide. All the parks are facing the same kind of budget cutbacks. You know, you hear about budget cutbacks, and parks, unfortunately, are one of the first to feel those. And so we're screaming for help for volunteers to come out. Kiwanis groups and Lions clubs and church groups are more than welcome to come out. They can adopt a trail. They can adopt a portion of the park. They can help to make that park a special place. And a park is something for the public, and the public should be intimately involved in what's going on at that facility. And that's one of the things that makes parks so special.
Another area, you mentioned beaches, and I know parks, we can do something that way. Beaches, I hear a lot of concern about, especially in Southern California, sewage and whatever else going out. Is there anything we need to do to put pressure on legislatures or senators or whatever else to help make your job easier? What can we do that way?
Well, trash on the beaches is a problem, but what you've been reading about a lot is the sewage leaks. And I guess the only way to ever eliminate that is not allow the sewage to go out in the ocean. Where it would go, I'm not sure, or you design better lines that would protect that. That is a problem. But
are our beaches safe?
Well, certainly they are. I mean, they're very popular. I think the state is known for its beaches, and as we get, let's say, 3.5 million visitors to our parks, there's another couple million just to the county beaches alone. Across the coast of Orange County, the number is just endless how many people use those beaches. Yeah, I think they're safe, and they are a great recreation for people, but they're also a sensitive environment, too. A lot of people go to the beach, and they sunbathe, and they swim and surf. They don't realize the ecology out in that ocean, too. And so they have to protect and respect what's out there as well.
And there again, those plastic things that we take and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
just
you bet.
A little more cautiousness.
You bet.
We need to have you come back and give us more updates on what we need to do, because this is all of us have enjoyed going away for a holiday or taking the family to the beach or the parks or whatever. And if we don't protect them, the future may be a little bleak for us. And so I would encourage you, if you would like to get more information, especially in those volunteer groups, churches, let's get out there and do something. Let's let people see us that we're out there cleaning up our parks and recreation, and we're really doing something to help our community. That's a very positive thing to do. If you would like to write to Tim Miller or Ed Harrison, you may write to them at this address. It is 10852 Douglas Road, Anaheim, California, 92806. That's 10852 Douglas Road, Anaheim, California, 92806. And I would also remind you that wherever you live, there's probably some kind of a parks department or recreation department in your community. You can go to them wherever you are in the country and talk to them about what are the needs in our community, what are the things we could do to help with the environment and make some changes. What do you see for the future for parks and recreation? More visitors, more problems with the environment? What are you concerned about?
I think all that will continue. But we as park managers have to get more creative on how to manage our parks, because it's obvious with the budget problems, we're not going to have as much money.
Yes.
So the more community support, the more people support we can get, the more volunteerism we can get, the more respect for our environment. Because the environment's not Ed's as a park ranger, or yours or mine. It's all of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all of ours. And if we lose it now, our children won't be able to enjoy it. So we all have a commitment to it.
Now's the time to get involved.
That's right.
I hope you'll consider doing something today and making a phone call and finding out about what you can do in your community. And also, would you do me a favor and do yourself a favor and do our county parks a favor? When you are walking someplace and you've got trash to get rid of, leave it in your car a little longer if you can't find a trash can. Don't just throw it out there. Don't empty your ashtrays and your other trash out there, because they're animals that could be in trouble, as well as it's just ugly and sin is going to ruin it for the future. God bless you. Hope we brought you joy. We try. We love you much. Bye-bye.
This program has been sponsored by the Trinity Broadcasting Network and made possible by your telethon dollars. Your continual support will help us keep bringing joy to your home every day. So write Joy, P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California, 92711.
From the nation's capital, this is the Capitol Report with Dr. Tim LaHaye.